don't need a miracle. You need a moment of truth. The life you dream of isn't waiting out there. It's waiting inside you. Success doesn't knock. You build the door and open it yourself. This is not about perfection. It's about progress. And progress begins when you stop waiting and start leading. This audiobook is your guide to becoming your best self, not through wishful thinking, but through bold action. It's about shifting your mindset, taking control, and building a life that reflects your true potential. If you've ever felt stuck, lost, or tired of repeating the same patterns, this is your wake-up call. Welcome to Success Starts With You, brought to you by Speak Smart English. This journey is for anyone ready to stop surviving and start thriving. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Own Your Life, starting today. Success doesn't begin with your job, your family, or your circumstances. It begins with you. That's the first truth, and it's the hardest one to accept. If your life isn't where you want it to be, don't look around, look within. Because until you take full responsibility for your choices, your habits, and your mindset, nothing will truly change. Most people wait for the world to shift before they do. They hope for better timing, better luck, better support. But real change doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. You have to decide, right now, that your life is your responsibility. The wins and the losses, the progress and the setbacks. It's not easy. It takes courage to admit you've been holding back. It takes honesty to say, I haven't given my best. But if you want a different outcome, you need a different approach. And that starts with ownership. Every day you delay taking control, you delay your growth. Blaming time, money, people, or the past might feel comforting, but comfort is the enemy of progress. If you created the mess, you can clean it up. If your choices led you here, new choices can lead you somewhere better. That's not weakness. That's power. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to feel ready. Readiness comes after you begin. Confidence comes after you act. Clarity comes when you move. People who wait for motivation stay stuck. People who choose discipline move forward. And discipline starts with a decision, not a feeling. So ask yourself, how are you really living? Not the version you show others. Not the story you tell yourself. The truth. How do you spend your time? What do your habits say about your priorities? What kind of energy do you bring into your relationships, your work, your home? If the answers make you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is your starting point. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Face it. Your truth is your foundation. Don't be ashamed of where you are. Just don't stay there. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is consistent action. Not luck, not talent, not motivation. Just daily decisions that move you forward. No one's coming to fix your life, and that's not bad news. It's the best news, because it means the power is in your hands. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You need commitment. Take back your time. Protect your energy. Make your goals non-negotiable. And if your habits are out of control, take control. Don't wait for a crisis to force change. Choose change now. Growth is uncomfortable. Responsibility is heavy, but both are worth it. Nobody else knows what it's like to be you. Nobody else can make your changes. Only you know what you've been avoiding. Only you can break the cycle. Taking ownership isn't about guilt. It's about power. It's about drawing a line and saying, from today, I lead my life. When you take ownership, you stop lying to yourself. You stop hiding behind excuses. You stop pretending you don't know what to do. You do know. You've just been ignoring it. You've been waiting for the right mood, the right moment, the right motivation. But that moment is now. The mood will follow. All that matters is your decision. Start small. Change one habit. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Turn off distractions. Set a rule and follow it. Track your progress. Celebrate your wins. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Do it every day, even when no one's watching. And something powerful will happen. You'll start to believe in yourself. You'll start to respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, you make better choices. You stop settling. You stop complaining. You stop quitting halfway. That's the real reward of ownership. It's not just about results. It's about identity. You become someone who follows through, someone who finishes, someone who leads, someone who transforms their own life. So if you want success, real success, stop waiting, stop blaming, stop avoiding the mirror. Take a deep breath and say, "It starts with me. It always has. It always will." Your life doesn't change when the world changes. It changes when you decide to lead it. When you stop reacting and start building. When you stop wishing and start doing. Success starts with you. That's not a slogan. That's the truth. So live like it. Act like it. Make today the day you stop letting life happen and start creating the life you deserve. And remember, if you want to become your best self, no one can do it for you. But the best part? No one can stop you either. Chapter 2. Rise and do what must be done. You already know what needs to change. You've known it for a while. It's not a mystery. It's a decision waiting to be made. The problem isn't lack of knowledge. It's lack of action. The gap between your intentions and your reality. That's where most people stay stuck. Let's be honest. No one's coming to wake you up early. No one's going to drag you toward your goals. No one will force you to take your life seriously. That's your job, and it starts with doing the hard things you've been avoiding. Thinking about it isn't enough. Talking about it isn't enough. Planning it isn't enough. You have to rise. You have to move. You have to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. That's where real growth begins. Not in comfort, not in excitement, but in discomfort, in inconvenience, in the moments when it's the last thing you want to do. That's when you choose to rise anyway. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being responsible. You already know the areas of your life that need attention, the conversations you've been avoiding, the tasks you've been postponing, the habits that are holding you back. You don't need more advice. You don't need another motivational quote. You need to act. Improvement doesn't happen by accident. It happens by choice. And that choice must be made daily. Not once. Not when you're inspired. Every single day. That's the difference between those who change and those who stay the same. It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's consistent, deliberate, uncomfortable action. You don't need anyone to believe in you before you begin. Start before you're supported. Start before you're ready. Start before you feel confident. Because confidence doesn't come first. Action does. Confidence grows when you do the thing you've been afraid of doing. Strength is built through effort, not avoidance. People say they're waiting for the right time. But the truth is, there is no perfect time. Life doesn't pause for you to catch up. If you keep waiting, life will move on without you, and you'll still be stuck in the same place next year. You don't want that. You know you're capable of more, but knowing isn't enough. You have to prove it with what you do next. It's easy to say you want to grow, easy to set goals, easy to say I'll start tomorrow. But the real test is showing up today, tired or not, busy or not, afraid or not. Life doesn't reward what you say. It rewards what you finish. So, stop waiting to feel ready. Stand up and do what needs to be done. Clean your space. Fix your routine. Cut the excuses. Stop wasting hours on distractions. Stop telling yourself you'll change when things calm down. Start now, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if it's small, because momentum is built one step at a time, then another, and another. That's how change happens. You don't need motivation. You need movement. Move your body, clear your mind, decide what matters most, and go after it. Be ruthless with your priorities. Be honest about where your time is going. Be willing to make sacrifices. Because the life you want won't hand itself to you. You have to earn it. And earning it means doing the work when no one's watching. It means keeping your word when no one's checking in. It means honoring your promises to yourself, even when no one else would notice if you quit. That's how character is built. That's how strength is forged. That's how you create a life you're proud of. People who succeed don't have more time. They use their time better. They don't always have more talent. They have more discipline. They don't feel motivated every day. They've trained themselves to act anyway, because they know staying the same costs more than growing. If you want a better life, do better things. Take full ownership of your decisions. If something's broken, fix it. If something's draining you, remove it. If you're off track, get back on track. And if you've let yourself down before, forgive yourself. Then start again, stronger. Stop overthinking. Stop complaining. Stop blaming. None of that moves you forward. Action does. When you start doing the work, everything begins to shift. Your thoughts get clearer. Your confidence grows. Your strength multiplies. And you start seeing results. Once you taste progress, it becomes addictive. You won't want to go back. And you won't need anyone to push you anymore, because you'll start pushing yourself. That's the goal. To become the kind of person who doesn't wait to be told, who doesn't depend on pressure, who rises every day and does what's necessary without being asked. That's power. That's maturity. That's growth. Ask yourself, what have you been avoiding? What needs to be done? Be honest. No more pretending. No more hoping it fixes itself. It won't. You have to face it. You have to stand up and handle it. That's how transformation begins. In private, without applause, without recognition. It starts when you choose to face what's uncomfortable. And yes, it will be tough. You'll be tired. You'll want to quit some days. But you'll keep going. Because you know, nothing changes until you do. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need personal responsibility. Own your time. Own your energy. Own your choices. Own your results. The moment you do that, everything begins to shift. You stop feeling helpless. You stop living passively. You start building a life that reflects who you truly are, not who you've settled to be. And remember, no one can take this from you. No one can stop you from doing what needs to be done. You've got the same hours as everyone else. You've got the same chance to reset. You've got the same ability to grow. You just have to act like it matters, because it does. You won't get another version of this life. This is it. This is your chance. This is your time. Don't waste it waiting. Don't waste it avoiding the work. Stand up. Handle your responsibilities. Fix what needs fixing. Build what needs building. You already know what needs to be done. Now do it. That's how you take your life from average to excellent. That's how you become your best self. That's how real success begins, not with words, but with action. Chapter 3. Clean up your habits before they control you. Your life doesn't fall apart because of one big mistake. It drifts off course through small, repeated choices. The ones you make without thinking, the ones you repeat every day. Your habits are shaping your future, whether you notice it or not. And if you don't take control of them, they'll quietly take control of you. That's why cleaning up your habits isn't optional. It's essential. Every routine you follow, even the smallest one, is either building your future or stealing it. Most people don't realize how much of their life is ruled by autopilot. They wake up, grab their phone, scroll endlessly. They delay decisions, they skip the hard stuff, and they tell themselves, "I'll do better tomorrow." But tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next month. And slowly, life starts to feel out of control. Not because the world is unfair, but because your habits are running the show. And they weren't designed to help you grow. They were built for comfort, not progress. You can't fix your life while living with the same habits that broke it. You can dream big. You can set powerful goals. But if your daily behavior doesn't match your vision, you're just fantasizing. Discipline begins with honesty. What are you doing when no one's watching? What routines have you normalized that are quietly holding you back? Think about the first hour of your day. It sets the tone for everything. If you start with chaos, distraction, and noise, don't be surprised when the rest of your day follows the same pattern. You need structure. You need intention. You need routines that pull you forward, not ones that drag you down. And you can't wait for life to get easier to build them. You build strong habits in the middle of the mess. That's when they matter most. Start by taking inventory. Not what you think you're doing, what you're actually doing. What time do you wake up? How do you spend your mornings and evenings? What are you eating? What are you watching? What are you saying yes to that you should be saying no to? Look at it all. No guilt, no emotion, just truth. Because until you see the full picture, you can't change anything. Habits don't care how you feel. They're automatic. That's why bad ones are so easy to fall into. They require no effort. They give instant comfort. But they cost you long-term progress. And the longer you keep them, the harder they are to break. So don't wait until you hit rock bottom. Don't wait until you're stuck. You don't need a crisis to change. You just need to decide that how you're living now isn't good enough anymore. Raise your personal standard. And once you've decided, act. Don't overthink it. Start replacing habits that waste your time with ones that use your time. You don't need to change everything overnight. That's not how growth works. You change one habit, then another. You stay consistent. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be committed. Start going to bed on time. Stop hitting snooze. Make your bed. Drink more water. Read every day. Get off social media when you're bored. Move your body. Track what matters. Keep your space clean. These sound simple because they are, but they're not easy. That's why most people ignore them. They're chasing the big fix. They want dramatic breakthroughs. But real progress is quiet. It's boring. It's unglamorous. It happens when you choose what's right over what's easy, even when no one's watching. And yes, your old habits will fight you. They'll try to pull you back. Your mind will make excuses. Your body will crave comfort. But you have to be stronger than the pull of your past. Because your habits are either building your best self or reinforcing your weaker self. You can't have both. You have to choose. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. What you need is structure. Design your day to support the person you want to become. Make it hard to fail. Make your environment push you forward. If distractions tempt you, remove them. If you skip workouts, prepare the night before. First, if you forget your goals, put them where you'll see them daily. That's what personal growth looks like. Not just mindset shifts, but practical adjustments. Stop saying, "This is just who I am." That's not truth. That's a story you've repeated so often, it became your identity. But identities can be rewritten. Habits can be reshaped. Life can be rebuilt. But not if you keep living on autopilot. Not if you keep choosing comfort. Not if you keep hoping change will happen. You already have what it takes. You've just been too distracted to see it. You've been too busy maintaining old routines to notice how much they're costing you. And the cost is high. Wasted time, low energy, lost confidence, unfulfilled potential. It adds up. One day, you'll wake up and realize you've spent years living below your capabilities, all because you didn't clean up your habits. So don't waste another day repeating the same cycle. Don't let another month go by doing what you've always done. Take back your time. Reclaim your focus. Break the lazy routines. Replace them with systems that work. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every good habit you build is an act of self-respect. Every bad habit you break is a step toward freedom. Your future is built one decision at a time, one morning at a time, one choice at a time. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. They want shortcuts. They want overnight results. But the ones who win, they do the work no one sees. They stay consistent when it's boring. They show up when it's hard. They keep their habits tight because they know if they don't, those habits will tighten around them. The difference between success and stagnation isn't just mindset. It's daily execution. It's having a system. It's having routines that work, even when you don't feel like working. It's waking up and following through. Not because it's fun, but because it's necessary. If you want a life you're proud of, it starts here. With what you do when no one's watching. With what you repeat every day. With how you respond to discomfort. So stop waiting for the right moment. This is the moment. You already know what needs to go. You already know what's not working. Now it's on you to fix it. Start small. Start now. Start with the habits that shape your day. Because once those change, everything else will follow. Control your habits, or your habits will control you. And once they do, they'll decide your life for you. Don't let that happen. Take your power back. Choose discipline. Choose structure. Choose actions that help you grow. This is your life, and it's time to start living like it matters. Chapter 4. Choose growth even when comfort feels easier. Comfort is tempting. It's familiar. It's safe. It gives you short-term relief. But it doesn't give you progress. It doesn't build strength. It doesn't move you forward. You can't become your best self by staying the same. Every day, you face a choice. Take the path that stretches you or the one that keeps you still. And most of the time, the path that stretches you is the one you don't feel like choosing. But it's the one that matters most. Growth isn't supposed to feel good at the start. That's what makes it growth. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. It demands more than you're used to giving. But if you only do what feels easy, you'll never discover what you're truly capable of. You'll stay stuck in the same patterns, wondering why life isn't changing. The answer is simple. Life doesn't change unless you do. You have to want growth more than you want relief. And that's hard, because comfort is always nearby. It whispers, take the day off. It says, try later. It convinces you that now isn't the right time. But growth doesn't follow your feelings. It follows your choices. People who grow aren't waiting for perfect timing. They act despite discomfort. They show up when it's hard. They keep going when it's boring. They stay committed when the excitement fades. You don't build a better life by accident. It takes decisions that go against what's easy. It takes doing what your future self will thank you for, even when your current self resists it. That means waking up early when your body wants more sleep, speaking up when silence feels safer, pushing forward when slowing down feels easier. You grow when you challenge your limits. You grow when you stop choosing comfort. Comfort feels good now, but it steals what could be. It delays progress. It keeps your goals out of reach. It makes your potential harder to access. And the longer you stay in comfort, the harder it becomes to leave. That's why you must train yourself to lean into hard things. Not once, every day. Make it a habit. Make it your standard. Start choosing what grows you, not what soothes you. Because comfort doesn't sharpen your mind. It doesn't build focus. It doesn't teach you anything new. Growth does. Growth forces you to learn. It strengthens your skills. It wakes you up. It makes you uncomfortable, but it also makes you better. Avoid growth, and you avoid change. You repeat the same day with different excuses, and slowly you build a life that looks fine on the outside, but feels empty inside. Because deep down, you know you've been playing it safe. You've stopped challenging yourself, and that creates frustration. That creates regret. Regret doesn't come from failure. It comes from knowing you didn't give it your all. Choosing growth means taking the road that demands more, setting higher standards, saying no to distractions, doing the work even when there's no reward yet, and most importantly, being honest with yourself. Are you really pushing yourself, or just going through the motions? Are you living up to your potential, or making excuses for why you're not? You already know what needs to change. You know the actions that would make a difference. But comfort makes it easy to delay, easy to settle, easy to pretend you're fine. But if you're not growing, you're shrinking. There's no standing still. Time is moving. Life is moving. And if you don't move with it, you get left behind. So what does growth look like today? Maybe it means having the hard conversation, getting serious about your health, sticking to your goals even when motivation fades, cutting off distractions, spending less time talking and more time doing. Growth looks different for everyone, but the feeling is always the same. It's uncomfortable, it's stretching, and it's worth it. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to stop doing nothing. Pick one area. Start there. Push yourself a little more than yesterday. Then keep going. Don't chase shortcuts. Don't expect it to be fun every day. Just commit to the process. Because results don't come from what you do occasionally. They come from what you do consistently. Yes, you'll be tired some days. You'll want to go back to the easy path. You'll hear thoughts telling you to slow down. But remember this: ease is a short-term win with long-term consequences. Growth is a short-term struggle with long-term rewards. The struggle won't last forever, but the results will. When you grow, you feel alive. You start respecting yourself. You see new possibilities. You realize how strong you really are. That's what makes the discomfort worth it. That's what keeps you going. And the more you choose growth, the more it becomes your default. You stop looking for ways out. You start looking for ways through. If you want a life you're proud of, you can't keep choosing comfort. You can't keep waiting for things to get easier. You have to rise. You have to level up. You have to become someone who shows up, no matter what. That's where success lives. That's where fulfillment lives. That's where your best self is hiding, behind the choices that scare you. Don't let today be another day you play small. Don't let comfort steal another chance from you. Decide right now, you're done settling. You're done delaying. Growth is a choice, and it's a choice you make daily. Not just once, not just when it's exciting, but every single day. Your life won't change in one big moment. It'll change through a series of small decisions. Decisions to get up, to start, to push, to stay in it. That's the path to growth. That's the path to becoming your best self. So take it, even when it's hard. especially when it's hard, because the hard road leads somewhere. The easy one just brings you back to where you started. This is your time, not tomorrow, not someday. Today, right now. Make the hard choice. Pick growth. Do what pushes you. Do what stretches you. And when your mind looks for the easy way out, remind yourself, comfort won't change your life. Growth will. Choose it. Live it. Become it. Chapter 5. Hold yourself accountable, even when no one's watching. The real test of growth isn't what you do in public. It's what you do in silence. No applause, no recognition, no one checking in. Just you, your habits, your mindset, your choices. Anyone can look disciplined in front of a crowd. Anyone can say the right things when they're being watched. But when the spotlight fades, when the pressure disappears, that's when the truth shows up. That's when accountability matters most. If you don't hold yourself to a high standard in those quiet moments, you'll keep falling short of the person you say you want to become. If you want real progress, stop waiting for someone to push you. Stop hoping someone will fix your habits. Stop expecting reminders. Progress is your job. Your standards are your responsibility. If you say you want change, prove it. Not with words, with effort, with consistency. With what you do when no one's watching. That's where transformation begins. Accountability isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about asking yourself, did I do what I said I would? Did I give my full effort? Did I follow through, even when it was hard? Not just once. Not just when it was easy. But every time you promised yourself you would. When you hold yourself to that level, something shifts. You stop making excuses. You stop pretending. You stop lowering your expectations. And you start becoming someone who lives with discipline. You don't need a boss to tell you to show up. You don't need a friend to remind you to stay consistent. You don't need a coach to keep you on track. You need to become someone who leads themselves. Someone who owns their time, their actions, and their attitude. Because once you do that, you become unstoppable. You don't depend on motivation. You don't crumble when no one's cheering. You keep showing up because you said you would. Most people stay stuck because they only perform under pressure. They work hard when someone's watching. They show up when it's urgent. But when it's just them, they let things slide. They relax. They delay. They break their own rules. That's why their confidence is low. Because deep down, they know they can't trust themselves. If you want to feel stronger, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, start keeping your word to yourself. Not to impress others, not to earn praise, but because you've made a decision to live with discipline. Start tracking your progress. Start noticing where you fall off. Don't get emotional. Don't blame your past. Just get honest. Where are you cutting corners? Where are you slacking? Where are you making promises and not keeping them? The standard you accept when you're alone, that's the standard that shapes your life. Raise it. Don't lower it just because no one's watching. Don't compromise because it's more comfortable. Push yourself to stay aligned with your goals. No matter how tired you are, no matter how long it takes, that's how confidence is built. That's how you earn your own respect. And once you respect yourself, everything gets easier. Your focus sharpens. Your energy rises. Your goals feel real. Because now you know you're the one who makes it happen. Most people spend their lives waiting to be led, waiting for direction, waiting for someone to tell them what to do. That keeps them passive. That keeps them stuck. But if you want to lead your life, truly lead it, you have to act without being told. You have to take initiative. You have to wake up and say, This is what needs to be done, and I'm doing it. You won't always feel like it. You won't always feel proud, but that's part of the process. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. You're not here to be flawless. You're here to be accountable. You're here to grow. You're here to break your own cycle and rebuild stronger. And that takes consistency. It takes honesty. It takes a willingness to be uncomfortable for something greater. Accountability starts in the smallest details, showing up when you said you would, finishing what you start, turning off distractions, saying no to the easy path. These aren't dramatic changes. They're subtle, but they matter. Because over time, these small decisions create a new version of you, a version that's sharp, reliable, self-led. You don't need to shout about your progress. You don't need to post about it. You just need to live it, quietly, consistently. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Let your results be the proof. You'll feel the shift. You'll feel more in control, more grounded, more certain, because you're not relying on outside pressure anymore. You've built the discipline to move on your own. That kind of strength can't be bought. It can't be borrowed. It can only be built. And it's built in the quiet moments, the moments no one sees. The moments when you're tempted to slack off. The moments when you choose between temporary relief and long-term reward. If you want to be proud of your life, don't base your actions on how you feel. Base them on who you've decided to become. Let that decision guide you, every day, in everything. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. The more you follow through, the more powerful you become. The more you keep your word, the more trust you build with yourself. You don't need to be told what to do anymore. You just need to stop running from responsibility. Take that pressure and use it. Use it to sharpen your focus. Use it to raise your standard. Use it to stop living like effort is optional. Because it's not. Effort is the price you pay for growth. And here's the truth. If you can't hold yourself accountable, no advice will help. No program, no mentor, no motivational video. Nothing will work until you start holding yourself to a higher standard. You are the foundation. Your actions decide the direction. Your habits decide the pace. Your choices decide the results. It's all on you. And that's not a burden, that's a gift. It means you're in control. You don't have to wait to become someone worth respecting. Start today. Do the things you said you would. Own your mistakes. Correct your behavior. Stay consistent, even when it's quiet, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. Because the person you become in the dark is the one who shines the brightest when the light comes. That's the kind of strength that lasts. That's the kind of discipline that separates you. And that's what success is really built on. Not talent, not chance, but personal accountability every single day. Starting now. Chapter 6. Act like the person you want to become. You don't become your best self by waiting. You become it by acting like it. Most people carry a vision of their ideal self, someone stronger, more focused, more disciplined, more respected. They talk about becoming that version someday, but someday never arrives unless you begin to act like that person today. This isn't about pretending. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions. If you want to grow, you must behave like the person you're aiming to be. Not once, not when it's convenient, but every single day, especially when it's hard. You already know who you want to be. That version is clear. The one who follows through, the one who keeps promises, the one who doesn't cut corners. But if your behavior still looks like the old you, the one who delays, avoids, and makes excuses, then nothing will change. You can't think your way into becoming someone else. You have to act it out. That means making decisions before you feel ready, showing up before you feel prepared, carrying yourself with the kind of respect and discipline your future self would demand. Start with how you carry yourself. How does that version of you start the day? How do they speak? How do they walk into a room? How do they handle pressure? Begin practicing those behaviors now. Don't wait to feel qualified. Qualification comes from consistency. The only way to close the gap between who you are and who you want to be is through action. If the future you is calm under pressure, start training that calmness today. If they work with discipline, stop negotiating with laziness. If they get things done early, stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Behavior builds belief. The more you practice the habits of the person you admire, the more natural they become. Every moment is a chance to make a different choice. You're either strengthening the version of you that stays stuck, or the version that rises. There is no neutral ground. So ask yourself, who do I want to be today? Then prove it with your choices. How you respond to stress, how you manage your time, how you treat your responsibilities. This isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. You say you want to be better, then live like it, dress like it, speak like it, think like it, move like it. Not to show off, but to live with intention. If your future self values discipline, make it your rule. If they value focus, protect your attention. If they value health, change what you eat and how you move. And don't wait for big moments. Transformation happens in the little ones. The 10-minute decisions, the daily routines, the quiet responses to stress, the invisible actions that build identity. That's where real change lives. Not in what you tell others, but in how you lead yourself through the day. You won't feel like it most days. That's normal. But growth isn't about feelings. It's about direction. If you know where you're headed, stop asking how you feel about it. Start asking what needs to be done. The version of you that wins doesn't check motivation. They check discipline. The longer you delay acting like your future self, the longer you delay becoming them. No one else will do the work for you. No one else will make the transformation happen. You have to be your own driver. You have to wake up and decide, again, that today you'll carry yourself like that person. Even when you're tired, even when it feels pointless, even when no one notices, especially then. Because something happens when you keep showing up like that. You start building belief. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. And when that shift happens, your energy changes. Your words carry weight. Your decisions become sharper. Your life starts matching the one you imagined. People around you will notice, not because you told them, but because you became it. The future version of you isn't found. It's created. One habit at a time. One mindset shift at a time. One difficult decision at a time. You can read all the books, watch all the content, but until you start acting like that person, it's all theory. It only becomes real when you live it out. And that takes discipline, self-awareness, the courage to say, I'm not there yet, but I'm going to live like I am. That means stepping into rooms with confidence, even when you feel unsure. Speaking up with clarity, even when your voice shakes. Making choices that stretch you, not shrink you. You're not stuck. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're just one committed decision away from shifting everything. It starts with taking responsibility for your direction. It starts with no longer identifying with your past. It starts with aligning your actions with your potential, not your fears. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting to feel ready. You're ready when you decide to act like it. Start measuring your days by how aligned your actions are with the future you want. Did you move like someone who's growing? Did you speak like someone who values their voice? Did you manage your time like someone serious about their goals? That's how you track progress, not just by results, but by alignment. And yes, it will feel like a stretch at first. That's the point. You're breaking away from who you've been. You're interrupting the cycle of settling. You're replacing automatic responses with intentional decisions. It takes effort. It takes self-control, but it builds something no one can take from you, a reputation with yourself. Once you trust yourself, you don't need external validation. You don't need people to push you. You become your own standard. The shift you're looking for won't appear out of nowhere. It will come from how you carry yourself today. Right now, you can keep acting like the old version and relive the same outcomes. Or you can step into a new level, the one that reflects who you know you can be. And it all starts with your next move. Make it count. Act like the person you want to become, because you're the only one who can. Chapter 7. Drop the excuses and take real steps forward. You either move forward or you stay stuck. There's no middle ground. And what keeps most people stuck isn't lack of talent. It's the excuses they keep using to stay where they are. Excuses sound believable. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start next week. I'm waiting for the right moment. But the truth is, excuses are just delays in disguise. They help you avoid effort without feeling guilty. They sound like protection, but they quietly steal your progress. You can't hold on to excuses and expect your life to move forward. At some point, you have to face the reality. Nothing changes until you stop justifying where you are. You can explain why you haven't started. You can explain why things are tough. But explanations don't create results. Only action does. And the longer you let your excuses speak louder than your goals, the longer you'll live below your potential. Every time you give an excuse, you hand away control. You tell yourself that something outside of you is responsible for your lack of movement. But that mindset doesn't build anything. It doesn't help you grow. It doesn't make you stronger. It makes you reactive, not responsible. It turns you into someone who waits instead of someone who leads. If you want change, if you want to become better, then the excuses have to go. Not tomorrow, not when it's easier. Now. Excuses feel safe. They protect your pride. Because if you never fully try, you never fully fail. But that's also why you stay stuck. You're protecting the version of yourself that doesn't grow. You're holding back because you're afraid of what might happen if you give it your all and it doesn't work. But nothing is worse than the regret of never trying. That regret lasts longer than any fear ever will. You don't need perfect conditions. That day isn't coming. The house won't suddenly get quiet. The schedule won't magically open up. The motivation won't always arrive on time. What you need is to start with what you have. Take the first step. Clean up one part of your life. Stick to one simple rule. Make one strong decision. Movement creates momentum. And the only way to build momentum is to take a real step forward. Not a plan, not a thought, a step. People will always find reasons why they can't, but that doesn't build progress. You build progress by finding a way to start anyway, even if it's small, even if it's awkward, even if it's not perfect. Because once you begin, your mindset shifts. You stop seeing problems. You start seeing possibilities. You stop focusing on what's missing. You begin to see what's available. Start being honest with yourself. Ask the tough questions. What excuse do I keep repeating? What story am I still hiding behind? What patterns have I normalized that are keeping me stuck? Then get clear about what needs to be done. Not what's easy, not what you feel like doing. what needs to be done. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need everything figured out. You need to move. Stop telling yourself, "I'll try later." Start proving you're serious now. Because the longer you sit with excuses, the heavier they get. They start shaping your identity. They start sounding like truth. And soon, you forget what you're capable of. Not because you aren't capable, but because you stopped putting yourself in a position to grow. Your habits reflect your priorities. If you say you want to improve, but your actions say otherwise, something's off. You can't say you want progress and keep living like it doesn't matter. You can't keep doing what's comfortable and expect new results. Progress comes with a price, and that price is the end of your excuses. Make a decision today. You're done explaining yourself to yourself. No more. "I didn't have time. I wasn't in the mood. I'll do it later." Those phrases kill more dreams than failure ever could. Be the kind of person who moves forward anyway. Be the kind of person who doesn't need perfect conditions to make real progress. And don't confuse being busy with being effective. Sometimes the excuse is disguised as productivity. You're doing a lot, but not the things that matter. You're staying active, but avoiding the hard things. If you really want to grow, face the uncomfortable areas. Tackle what you've been avoiding. Go straight into what feels difficult, because that's where your growth is hiding. You don't need a full roadmap. You just need one clear action and the courage to take it. Stop recycling the same plans that never turn into progress. Stop forgiving yourself for quitting before you even begin. Be patient with the outcome, but relentless with the action. Keep moving. Keep adjusting. Keep taking steps. And most importantly, stop making excuses that protect the version of you that isn't growing. Nothing changes until you do. Your life isn't waiting on a perfect day. It's waiting on your decision to stop delaying effort, to stop protecting comfort, to stop believing next week will feel easier than today. It won't. The work will still be there. The time will still be limited. The distractions will still show up. But you'll be stronger because now you're not depending on ideal conditions. You're depending on your commitment. There's freedom on the other side of your excuses. Freedom to move. Freedom to build momentum. Freedom to grow into someone who doesn't settle. But to reach that, you have to let go of the stories that keep you small. You have to stop making your challenges an excuse to do nothing. Start turning them into a reason to rise. Use the pressure. Use the frustration. Use the fact that you're tired of starting over as fuel to keep going. You've waited long enough. You've had enough time to think about it. Now, act like it matters. And it starts with a simple rule. No more excuses. From this moment forward, if something needs to be done, you do it. Not because it's fun, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. That's how real progress is made. That's how your future is built. And that's how you become the person you were meant to be. One decision, one step, one day at a time. All without excuses. Chapter 8. Use your time better instead of wasting it. Time doesn't come back. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can lose money and earn it again. You can miss an opportunity and find another. But time? It doesn't rewind. It doesn't repeat. That's why how you use your time says everything about how serious you are about your life. You can't talk about goals while wasting half your day on things that don't move you forward. You can't say you want change and keep treating your time like it doesn't matter. Because the truth is, your life is the sum of how you spend your hours. Most people don't run out of time. They waste it. Not in dramatic ways. In small, quiet ways that add up. 10 minutes here, 30 minutes there, scrolling through nonsense, talking about things that don't matter, putting off what should have been done today. Time slips away silently. You don't notice until one day you look up and wonder where the last 6 months went. That's why you must start treating your time like it matters. Because it does. Using your time better doesn't mean filling every second. It means being intentional. It means knowing what matters, cutting out what doesn't, catching yourself when you drift into distraction, having a plan and sticking to it, even when you're tempted to waste another hour. Here's the reality. No one's coming to manage your time for you. No one's going to hold your hand and keep you focused. That's on you. And if you don't control your time, something else will. Distractions, laziness, comfort. You have to decide, do you run your time or does your time run you? Every day gives you the same 24 hours. The question is, how much of that are you giving to things that serve your future? How much are you using to build something you'll be proud of? If you're honest, you already know the answer. You know where you're wasting it. You know what you do to avoid the hard stuff. You know what pulls your attention away from what matters. And the fix doesn't require magic. It requires discipline. Start with structure. Give your day a shape. Decide what hours belong to your goals, your growth, your responsibilities, and protect those hours. Don't drift into your day and hope it works out. That leads to frustration. You need to lead your time. Take charge of it. Break it down. Know what you're working on and why. Because clarity cuts out waste. If you don't know what you're doing, it's easy to do nothing. Look at the first hour of your day. That hour is powerful. It sets the tone. If you start with distractions, your focus will suffer all day. If you start with purpose, everything else becomes easier. Same with the last hour of your day. It prepares you for tomorrow. It clears your mind. It helps you reset. Use it well, and you'll feel in control. Waste it, and you'll feel like you're always catching up. This isn't about being perfect with your time. It's about being better, a little better each day. That adds up. 10 wasted minutes today turns into hours of lost progress in a week. But 10 minutes of focused effort each day builds momentum. You don't need to flip your whole schedule overnight. Start small. Pick one part of your day and improve it. Get consistent. Then move to the next. Keep adjusting until your time starts working for you. And let's be honest, you know what wastes your time. You know the habits, the distractions, the people, the thoughts. Stop pretending you don't. Stop justifying it. Stop acting like you have endless hours to give away. You don't. Every hour you give to something meaningless is an hour you're not giving to something important. You have to care enough about your future to protect your time from your present laziness. That's the real shift. And once you start using your time better, everything changes. You feel lighter. You stop rushing. You stop feeling behind. You make progress you can see. You build trust with yourself. You stop ending each day wondering where the time went, and start ending it knowing you moved forward, even just a little. Most people spend more time avoiding effort than it would take to actually make progress. That's the trap. Wasting time feels easier in the moment, but it costs more in the long run. Lost time creates stress. It creates guilt. It piles up until even small tasks feel like mountains. And once you're in that cycle, it gets harder to move. But you can break that cycle. You can take back control. And it starts with being ruthless about what gets your time. You don't owe your time to everything that asks for it. You don't have to respond to every message. You don't have to be available for every request. You have the right to say no. You have the right to protect your focus. You have the right to prioritize your own growth. Because if you don't, no one else will. Look at your screen time. Look at how many hours go into things that give you nothing back. Then ask yourself, what would happen if I used just half that time on my goals, my mindset, my health? You already have the time. You just need to use it differently. And that starts with a decision. A decision to stop drifting. A decision to stop letting the clock run your life. Using your time better also means knowing when to rest. Rest isn't wasting time if it's intentional. You need recovery. You need stillness. But you don't need to escape from your life all day long. There's a difference between rest and avoidance. One rebuilds you, the other delays your growth. Learn to know the difference. You don't need to be busy every hour. You need to be deliberate. Even time off can be valuable when it's chosen with intention. But wasting time out of habit, that's what steals your progress. That's what eats away at your discipline. So don't fill your day with noise. Fill it with actions that count. Time doesn't slow down for anyone. It doesn't pause for your distractions. It doesn't care about your feelings. It just keeps moving. And you have to decide, will you move with it or let it pass you by? The people who win aren't always the smartest. They're the ones who learned how to manage their hours. They show up on purpose. They get things done. They build routines that serve them, and they don't waste time on things that don't matter. That's your next level. Not more effort, better effort. Not more hours, better use of your hours. Don't chase busy, chase results. Keep your time clean. Keep it focused. Keep it aligned with who you want to become. Because once time is gone, you can't rewind it. You can't buy it. You can't borrow more. You either used it well or you lost it. And that's the truth most people ignore until it's too late. Don't be one of them. Start today, not next week, not after the next distraction. Start now. Use your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Chapter 9. Be honest about what's holding you back. Now, change doesn't start with more effort. It starts with more honesty. If you really want to grow, you have to be willing to face what's holding you back. Not later, not when it's convenient, but right now. Most people say they want to improve, but they avoid the hard truth. They stay busy. They stay distracted. They blame outside pressure. But none of that works if you're not willing to admit what's really in the way. You can't build a better life while ignoring the things that keep pulling you down. Being honest isn't about beating yourself up. It's about facing what's real so you can finally do something about it. Maybe you've been hiding behind your comfort zone. Maybe you've been making decisions that are easy instead of necessary. Maybe you've been lying to yourself about how consistent you really are. That kind of truth can sting, but it's also the only place where real change begins. You already know what's been slowing you down. You've felt it. You've seen it in the results you're not getting. You've heard it in the excuses you repeat. The longest you avoid that truth, the longer you'll keep circling the same problems. You can't move forward if you're still dragging around the same patterns. You can't break through if you won't admit what you've been protecting. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's just a lack of discipline. But whatever it is, it's yours to face. The strongest people aren't the ones who have it all figured out. They're the ones who are willing to face what's broken. They're not scared of the truth. They use it. They let it guide their next move. You can't get stronger if you keep lying about your weaknesses. You can't fix what you refuse to see. That's why self-honesty is the foundation of personal growth. It's easy to point the finger. It's easy to say things aren't working because of your job, your family, your schedule. But you have to be willing to ask yourself, what part of this is on me? What choices have I made that I keep pretending don't matter? You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to stop hiding from the questions. Being honest means admitting that not everything you're doing is working. It means facing the things you've avoided. It means recognizing that some of your routines, some of your beliefs, they aren't helping you. Growth means outgrowing excuses, outgrowing patterns, outgrowing the version of you that keeps playing it safe. Change only comes when you choose truth over comfort. When you stop making excuses. When you stop delaying. Most of what holds people back isn't complexity, it's clarity. They don't know what to fix because they're not being real about what's broken. They think they need a new system. But what they need is to face what they already know they've been ignoring. Ask yourself right now, what have I been pretending not to see? Where am I not giving my best effort? If you can answer those questions honestly, you're already ahead of most people. The truth is hard to face, but once you do, the path forward becomes a lot clearer. You can't lie to yourself and expect your life to work. So stop pretending your habits aren't the problem when they are. Stop acting like time is your enemy when you know you've been wasting it. Stop saying you don't know where to start when deep down you do. You're just afraid to begin. That's where the real shift happens. Not in doing more. In finally being honest with yourself about why you've been stuck. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stop running from the part of you that needs to grow up. You have to be more disciplined. You have to let go of behaviors that keep you small. You have to do the hard thing when the easy thing is available. The person you're becoming needs a different version of you. One that faces the truth. One that's not scared to change direction. Get real. Stay real. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Not because someone told you to, but because you've decided that you're no longer available for a life that's built on excuses. That's your power. That's your transformation. It starts with honesty. Not later. Right now. Chapter 10. Prove through action that change starts with you. Change doesn't begin when you talk about it. It doesn't begin when you plan it. It doesn't even begin when you believe in it. Change begins when you take action. Not just once. Not just when you feel inspired. But every single time you choose discipline over delay, progress over comfort, and effort over excuses. If you want your life to look different, you have to act like it matters. Stop waiting for outside forces to shift and start becoming the person who shifts everything from within. You've heard enough. You've seen enough. Now it's about proving it with what you do, not what you say. You can't keep blaming your past, your environment, or your situation. You don't need a better background. You need better behavior. You don't need more time. You need better use of the time you already have. You need to take full ownership and prove that you're capable of leading it yourself. Action is the evidence. Without it, everything else is just noise. Without it, all your words, dreams, and intentions stay stuck in your head and never turn into reality. The people who make real change are the ones who take responsibility and start. They don't wait for the right mood. They create momentum through consistent behavior. They choose to lead themselves when it would be easier to wait for someone else to push them. That's what separates those who stay the same from those who transform. It's the way they move when no one's watching. It's the decisions they make when the only accountability is the voice inside their head. You prove change through the habits you follow today. You prove it through getting up earlier when you said you would, through completing the tasks you set for yourself. You show yourself and the world that your standards are no longer negotiable. And when that shift happens, you start to trust yourself. You're no longer relying on hope. You're building results from consistency. There's no shortcut for becoming your best self. It's a decision, followed by thousands of small choices that reinforce it. It's waking up and acting in alignment with the life you say you want. It's doing the hard thing without needing to be convinced. It's following through without needing a reward. When your actions line up with your values, you begin to build identity. You begin to walk with purpose. You begin to stop chasing motivation and start producing progress. Change needs a plan and the courage to follow through. Get ruthless with your distractions. You've wasted enough days trying to find the easy way. Now you know the only way is to work your way through it. You'll have setbacks. You'll fall short. That's not failure. That's feedback. The goal is to never quit. To get back on track the moment you realize you've drifted. The difference between you now and the version of you that has everything you want is not ability. It's behavior. And behavior is something you can change starting now. You don't need to wait until next week. You need to act in alignment with who you want to be. That means choosing progress over pride. It means taking the first step even when you're unsure. Your future isn't built by luck. It's built by patterns of showing up. That's how you create a life you're proud of. Not through one big move, but through steady, consistent action that you repeat until it becomes your new normal. You've already waited long enough. It's time to prove that you mean it. Not by writing it down, but by changing how you show up. You just need your own permission. You need to stack one good decision on another. Get clear on what matters. Eliminate what distracts. Show up even when it's hard. Do the work even when it's quiet. Every decision is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Every action either reinforces your old identity or helps create a new one. You stop needing to be pushed. You start pushing yourself. You stop living on potential. You start living with results. You don't change your life in theory. You change it in practice. Through your routine. Through your habits. Through the effort you give when no one would blame you for quitting. You stop pretending and start proving. You stop waiting and start building. You stop blaming and start owning. Change doesn't come to those who talk the most. It comes to those who act the most. You are the only one who can lead this shift. So don't say you're serious, show it. Don't wait for momentum, create it. Don't hope for progress, earn it. And every day wake up and decide again that your actions are the proof that change doesn't live in words. It lives in motion. And that motion starts with you.